Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Supercoach with Bizzi. And this might be the most important little update video I'll ever make on my channel regarding this year's Supercoach because I have done a lot of research during the week, as I said I would. A little bit of downtime before I start my new job, but I have done a lot of research on one particular move that will make or break my season, and I think I've made my decision. It's this big of a decision that I'm looking to probably make some short form content as well. Do a little bit of YouTube shorts and put something up on my TikTok of this video. And what it is I've done some analysis on, it's not super like in-depth analysis, but I've done some analysis with a pick in my forward line, particularly a pick that could make or break my season when it comes to the later end of the year, which is what you also need to be thinking about prepping your team for the rest of the year. So we're actually in a good position regarding our trades. We have 7 left, including one that we made already. And that one that we made already was Chad Warner. Now, this is the pick that I have to go into a little bit more heavily. The Chad Warner pick. Now, Chad Warner is not getting the role particularly as he was at the start of the year. And a lot of people I've seen, he is cheap for a reason. And a lot of people I've seen, a lot of other coaches have said how disappointed they are with his performance in the later weeks, a couple weeks, maybe up to a month. He's not been playing as well. So I wanted to delve into it a little bit deeper and see around like what are my options around the price range. Like I could always make another move, say a Clark or a Gray to a basement price player to use that money towards a really big gun in the forward line. But I have done some analysis and I think that there is a better option on our hands. Now, I'll go into that in just a moment's time, but because I do these on Fridays, I can go into a little bit more depth into the game that was last night. I did attend in person as I am a Port Adelaide fan, and boy, oh boy, was it a great viewing experience for Port fans. As you can see in the bottom down here, 110 to 60. Carlton just absolutely arse, and I feel sorry for Carlton supporters. Although Port aren't going much better than them, but Carlton made Port look really good. What I'm going to do is I'll get up the stats for the game because it was a absolute smacking. Now, I am a classic viewer. I do use Fan Footy. I think it's just as informative as a lot of newer apps. I've just used this for the whole time I have been doing Supercoach, so I use it to this day. It's hard to say goodbye to it. So, if we sort by Supercoach, because that's what we care about here, over in the Carlton area of things, George Hewitt, which 120. I didn't even feel like I saw him at any of the whole night, but he was thereabouts getting lots of hand passes, and 120 is your best score for the whole entire Carlton side. Doherty was 103, and then it just goes downhill from there. I'm not sure how Cripps got to a 93. I thought he played like crap. He looked like he was sick. And Tom DeConing actually was outclassed by Hinkley with the 2-ruck combo. I'm not personally a fan of the 2-ruck combo. I think that you either choose Vicentini or you choose Sweet. And as you can see, both of them are just not options to play together for Supercoach related or fantasy related stuff. Vicentini might get rubbed out next week. Not much in it, but he might. That's why they got the TV icon there. But I think you choose one or the other, and I feel like Sweet's a better player, even though he's under the runk of Vicentini here. I think that he is a better player. Vicentini is dangerous up forward at times, but he is also very clumsy and he has got a lot more learning to do. And Sweet is at the peak of his career. I think you use him against some of the bigger rucks when it comes in the later portion of the year, like when Paul after versus Suns and Jared Witts. I think a solo Sweet would be better than double Vicentini and Sweet, but that's that. So there's some notable things to go over. Horn Francis was subbed for a 49. And that was this close. My team was this close to bringing Horn Francis in for that 49, as he is cheap, but he's going to get so much more cheaper now, which is such a blessing in disguise that I'm going to be able to potentially get Horn Francis in my last spot to fill for the team. Regardless, though, Port have one of the hardest run homes from any team, so it's going to be maybe a pick potentially. It's going to be around the area of Horn Francis is going to be so cheap that it might be silly not to pick him up, but Port do have such a hard run home that potentially he doesn't score well for the rest of the year anyway, and any of Port do. So Going off of what is Supercoach relevant, Connor Rosie was great, but he scored 150 because of his efficiency of 90% off halfback. Had his new role again. Well, not new role. It's not new because he's been having it for the most of the year, but he drifted back into the mids a couple weeks ago and last week. He's back and he started halfback and he was at the whole game, running through the midfield a lot. So that's love to see that. And then Zach Butters, 123. And he only got the 79 Dream Team, but that is because he was a little bit careless with the ball at times. But I thought that he was great, raking packs as he always is. So Zach Butters for a pick for the rest of the year is brilliant. Anything on here that is also Supercoach relevant is maybe Miles Bergman is actually a pick for the rest of the year. He's getting a lot of CBA time. Lots of midfield time, and he's acting as kind of like that Jordan Dawson role that Crows use. He's kind of like the Jordan Dawson of Port for some reason. And I think that worst case scenario, they are just making Miles's asking price even higher, showing what quality of a player he is, and hopefully, if he does really want to get traded in the off season, that we can actually bring in something big for him, Wangani Malira potentially. So, I think that playing in the midfield is only going to do good things for Port, regardless if he stays or if he doesn't. But that is everything about to go for the night. Deconing 85, we do have Deconing in our team. Not great, but I think that his run home of ruck battles is actually decent compared to Gorn's coming weeks. He's got Wits this week, and then he's got a couple other hairy ones. So if we have the money later in the year, I'll do a swap from Deconing to Gorn. But for now, I think that Deconing's actual base matchups are pretty good. So moving on from all what happened, Carroll didn't play, got dropped. Doesn't matter. He's not going to count my team anyway. Clay Hull has been named on the field, not sub. He's been named on the wing, I think, and that's great news. McCarthy is named as well. Of course he is. He had a great debut game. So both of these two are going to fill a role for Merritt and Dunkley this round. And that means we have 1, 2, 3, 4 not playing. That means one of any of these scores is going to get cycled out, potentially Hull, or if McCarthy has a stinker, then it's McCarthy. But other than that, we basically got our full playing side, except a couple of the buys. But the big thing that I want to go through is the move for the second to last pick in my forward line. A very vital move that could set up my season for failure, or it could make me rise in ranks. And one of them contains a point of difference pick that I have done a little bit more research in. He scored big last week, and if you were smart, you would have brought him in last week. But I had Chad Warner in this spot. They both play tonight, and I did a little bit more research on the difficulty of schedule for the coming rest of the games for the year. So we go to the Western Bulldogs. If you know who I'm talking about, it is Sam Darcy. He is about the same exact price as Chad Warner. He is a monster up forward. We all know this. And what I'm looking at particularly is his run home. Now, he is playing Sydney, who have a bad back line. They're not very good back line this week. I think the tallest dude they've got to play on him is, what's his name? McCartan. He's going to get killed tonight. That could be a really big game. He then goes to North Melbourne. That's going to be a massive game. He has a run here in the middle where it's not great. Adelaide, Brisbane, Essendon is still, he could kick a bag, and GWS. That's 3 in the middle that aren't that good. But then towards the end of the year, we got Melbourne at the MCG. Melbourne, their backline is in tatters. West Coast at home, and Freo at home. Look at that. Look at this home state. They got Mars, which is home. Gabba, not great. Marvel Stadium, home. Marvel, GWS, home. MCG, down the road. West Coast at Marvel, Freo at Marvel. So that run home, travelling wise and matchup wise, could be really big for Sam Darcy. And I think that it is going to be a great play to make for the rest of the year, because he could get some massive the highlight scores could be absolutely through the roof, 150 plus. Compared to your Chad Warner, who I've done a little bit more research on as well, he is not getting as much of the role as he was at the start of the year. So if you look at Sydney's CBAs, he is dropping off from the start of the year. At the start of the year, he didn't have a lot. He was breaking through, and then he got a lot more midfield time right in the middle bulk of the year. And then Sheldrick said, "Hey, I'm back." And he put his hand up. He's got 60, 63, had to buy 58, which is then gone Chad Warner from 74, 61, 77 to 47, 42, 37, which means he's getting less midfield time and they're blooding Sheldrick, and even James Jordan's getting some of that midfield time when is tagging a player. So James Jordan was tagging Butters this game. That's why he has a little bit more midfield time. But Chad Warner doesn't have a lot of mid time. He is resting forward a lot more, which is going to be probably resulting in lower scores, which a lot of coaches have already complained about lower scores. His 93 scored last week is actually a decent score for Chad Warner. So what I'm going to be doing is bringing in Sam Darcy. If we sort by 5 round average, he's going to be up here because he scored a 144 last week. Having him last week would have been a master play. But Sam Darcy in the forward line for the rest of the year, I think could win some matchups towards the finals end of the year. And that is the move that I made. So that leaves us with about the exact same amount of money here. If you are pondering around the price that Sam Darcy is between Rankin, Darcy, Warner, go with Darcy because of the run home and the quality of matchup he has, and the travel. Travel is a big factor for a dude of his size, I would think. So with this run home, West Coast, Marvel, Frio, Marvel, it's like that could make or break your season when it comes to winning. If you're serious in your league matchups, you could win because of Sam Darcy on their back. Now, I'm expecting a big one against Sydney tonight at the SCG. I'll know if it's a failed pick if he. Well, I won't know if it's a failed pick until later on, but I'll kick myself in the foot if Chad Warner goes for 130. I feel like it's unlikely, but if you are a coach that is looking to make a big move to climb the ranks and just put your faith in Sam Darcy, trust me on this. This is going to be the one thing I say to everyone to do. If you are wondering who to go with for the last play in your forward line, there's one more spot in your forward line, or you're looking to even sidestep someone who's underperforming, Sam Darcy is a perfect price. He is going to go up in price, and he is going to have a massive second half of the year. I can't stress it enough. Just get Sam Darcy in over any of your other options. Chad Warner is your second option, in my personal opinion, but Sam Darcy, go for it. He is the man to save your season. And that's the pick that I've done a lot of research on, just watching, just matchup oriented. I'm very matchup oriented when it comes to my captain picks, and 9 times out of 10, it plays out in how I like it. Plays out how I envision it. The Dankos against West Coast, I know a lot of other coaches doing the exact same thing, but I'm expecting more than 134 as his projected score. But that's just me. This CBA tool is really good. It's tells you all the CBAs for each team. Like you can go to Port and you can see who is getting more CBAs. As you can see, Miles Bergman, 89% CBAs last round. So he could be a genuine pick if you're looking for a real point of difference. Whereas you got Horn Francis at the start of the year. Look at all that. And then he's had this run where he's had just no CBAs at all. He's just playing solidly forward because we don't have any options. And that's why towards the end of the year, I think that once he drops in price after this week's 49, he rests up, has a 9-day break, 8-day break, rests his shoulder a bit. It could be a pick after the week after next week, which could be a May out for Horn Francis, and we could have a finished team, including the flex, with potentially a couple trades to spare, which will be brilliant that we can finally finish our team after the strenuous Supercoach year has been. It's been one of the hardest years I've had to manage for the whole since I've been starting Supercoach, but I feel like it's working out perfectly in my favor, and I feel like these are the plays that can make the difference between the really methodical coaches and the coaches that follow the trends and go with the obvious picks. So thank you for watching. I hope this was informative to you, and for God's sake, just bring in Sam Darcy. Excellent. Thank you for watching, and go the bloody power.